welcome. Welcome to Jeremiah chapter 8 and to the spiritual warfare breakthrough with Prophet Bigg. Doing it live right here. And we're going to go forward with it. And we shall be reading at verse 8. As of right now, the covenant we're speaking of. And this is still going through the topic of preachers. At that time, said the Lord, they shall bring out the bones of the kings of Judah, and the bones of the princess, and the bones of the priest, and the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem out of their graves. Now we were speaking about the valley being the slaughter. And now God is speaking about bringing the bones out of the graves. And they shall spread them before the sun, that's S-U-N, and the moon, and all the host of heaven, whom they have loved, and whom they have served, and after whom they have walked, and whom they have sought, and whom they have worshipped, they shall not be gathered, nor be buried. They shall be fordown upon the face of the earth. That is to show that those in the past who thought God didn't see them behind the gates in the temples for what they were doing and how they were sacrificing and burning their own children. We spoke about this through chapter 7 of Jeremiah. That's written. And here it is in chapter 8, verse 2, they discuss, God is explaining about the parables of what happened. And those who are doing it today thinking it will not happen to them. Well, they need to come back to God before the coming of God take place on them. Now, we're going to go forward with it. They shall not be gathered nor be buried. They shall be fordown upon the face of the earth. Verse 3, and death shall be chosen rather than life by all the residue of them that remain of this evil. Now, the residue are those who are doing it today. Because it is of evil. It is written. And we go forward. Family which remain in all the places whither I have driven them, saith the Lord of hosts. Moreover, thou shalt, in verse 4, moreover, thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord, shall they fall and not arise? Shall he turn away and not return? In verse 5, why then is this people of Jerusalem slidden back by the perpetual backsliding? They slidden, I guess they were killed, they died, they slidden, they were sliding, they backsliders, so they slidden when they, I guess because see the new thing is they slide, well they even slid it. You be more precise of the word is backsliding, but they were slidden back by the perpetual backsliders. So the backsliders is the ones that it's saying the ones that actually might have killed them. If they slidden, they gone. So you can slide, but then when you be slidden, you gone through the. It's no more. You done slidden. It's over. They hold fast deceit. They refuse to return. I hearkened and heard, but they spake not aright. No man repented him of his wickedness, saying, what have I done? Everyone turn to his course as the horse rusheth into the battle. As the horse rusheth into the battle. Yea, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed time, and the turtle and the crane and the swallow observe the time of their coming, but my people know not the judgment of the Lord. See, those who are doing wrong, those the residue of the ones that did it before, the residue doing it now, they don't know the law of the Lord. They actually thinking they teaching, and they're doing the opposite of what's supposed to be taught. How do ye say we? Because it's talking about preachers and preaching. It's not saying nothing other than that. It's talking about preachers and preaching. So I can't make it out. They talking about an innocent person that's trying to preach. He ain't. Come on now, he's being taught wrong. If anything, he can't preach about nothing. Don't know nothing. They fatherless. That's what he spoke about in chapter 7 and 6. How do ye say in verse 8? How do ye say we are wise, and the Lord is with us? Lo, certainly in vain made he it. The pen of the scribes is in vain. The pen, P-E-N, of the scribes is in vain. So whatever they writing is in vain. It's not true. It's in trouble. The wise men are ashamed. They are dismayed and taken. See, the wise men are taken low. They have rejected the word of the Lord. The wise men that's following them has rejected the word of the Lord. Going behind them gates in them big old churches doing what they think is right, but they know it's not. They just rejected God. The word of the Lord, and what wisdom is in them. The wisdom that's in them is not even in them. Therefore will I give their wives unto others, and their fields to them that shall inherit them. For every one from the least even unto the greatest is given the covetousness, from the prophet even unto the priest. So something is going to be given to someone else that's doing the right things that God has them doing, that they are following through with, because of the right way to go, the right way to teach, the right way to be as a people. So we're going to continue, and this is the end of verse 10. Everyone dealeth falsely. So they dealing falsely. The prophet and the priest that's doing the preaching, and they wrongful doing things, they are dealing falsely, not truthfully with no one, not even with themselves. Their own wisdom is failing them. Verse 11, for they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. Now, we can look at it on this point here, is that he's speaking of peace, like they are supposed to be peace on earth. But there is no peace for the things that the priests, the prophets are doing. Those who are doing it the wrong way, teaching the wrong way. Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination? Nah, they were not at all ashamed. So in chapter 7, they spoke about them not being ashamed. They want to give a peace, and I mentioned how we was speaking of abomination being different from killing. It can be in the same way of doing the wrong acts. And the act is sexually also. That's a sexual act where they give me a piece, baby, please give me a little bit, and they ain't got no shame. So they say a little bit, boom, the whole thing. That's what we spoke about. But it can go, and it means it all. It's all in the same rapture of abomination. Now they were not at all ashamed, neither could they blush. That therefore shall they fall among them that fall in the time of their visitation. They shall be cast down, said the Lord. They shall be cast down. The priests, the prophets, the false people that's doing the wrong things, doing the wrong teaching, giving the people their wisdom when the people can't accept, can't even, you can't. I can't get your wisdom. I need wisdom from God. You walking around in the church from the book. If you ain't got the book in your hand or on your piece, the mantelpiece of what you, the pulpit, what you preach from, is in your heart, mind, and soul. But you don't have to prove unto them that you know the book. You had to do that to God. That's why you got in a position to teach those who don't know. So you have it written in your heart, mind, and soul to teach from the book. Express from the book, not from your own wisdom. And as it's speaking, your wisdom is no good to the people. God is telling you, you're preaching wrong, you profiting wrong. It's not my wisdom I can't give them. I got to give them the word of the Lord and the understanding. Because my wisdom, I want mine. I need my wisdom to help fight the spiritual warfares that come within me. You need it too. Preachers and priests and prophets. So when you get finished with your wisdom out there, then you want to come back into the book and try to figure out how can you readjust and get your wisdom to keep teaching them. When the longer you keep your wisdom, the better teaching you can do for them. But I'm, just teaching like God speaking through me to tell you. I will surely, in verse 13, I will surely consume them, saith the Lord. There shall be no grapes on the vine, nor figs on the fig tree, and the leaf shall fade, and the things that I have given them shall pass away from them. Just sit, wait, and watch, because if they don't go back to God and do the right thing, the residue is in them for doing the wrong things. That if the slitted has already gone through what they doing, they got the residue, and they think the residue was better than the beginners, and they didn't last, they didn't make it. So those who are called the residue can't make it. They don't even have nothing to stand on. Oh Lord, they tell it like it says, it's gonna fade away. All the things that have been given them shall pass away from them. Verse 14, why do we sit still? Assemble yourselves and let us enter into the defense cities, and let us be silent there, for the Lord our God had, that's capital G-O-D, had put us to silence and given us water of gall to drink, because we have sinned against the Lord. Waters of gall. Somebody look up gall and find out what gall is. I believe that comes out inside your stomach. Gall, what gall? Bladder, gall. I mean, what's in there? Piss? I don't know. Talk to me. Somebody tell me. Because God is speaking. Do you get an amen? I can hear somebody saying, Lord help me. They got to drink their own piss. Well, there ain't going to be no grapes there for them. We looked for peace, but no good came, and for the time of health, and behold, trouble. trouble came. The snorting of his horses was heard from Dan. The whole land trembled at the sound of the knifing of his strong ones, for they are come and have devoured the land and all that is in it, the city and those that dwell therein. He said that they don't change, that's what's going to happen. It's going to become desolate. They're going to be slitted. The new thing is out there talking about they're going to slide you. That means they're going to do you in, they're going to kill you. So slitting is sliding. So it's slitting in the Bible. That the one that's doing it today call it slide. They going to slide you. So understand it. It's just letting you know the street terms, but this is the Bible. See, I didn't have to get up to walk around and try to give my wisdom to the people, to try to get them to look up to me. They need not look up to me. You need to look at the Bible and look up to God. For behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices among you, which will not be charmed, and they shall bite you, saith the Lord. Ooh, they're going to bite them. Wow. For the wrongdoing. Ain't that nice? Now, verse 18. When I would comfort myself against sorrow, my heart is faint in me. Behold, the voice of the cry of the daughter of my people, because of them that dwell in a far country. Is not the Lord in Zion? Is not her king in her? Why have they provoked me to anger with their graven images and with strange vanities? Meaning, whatever images they have, that God say you should not have no false gods before me, no false images. It's written. They have to understand. They have to do what God say do, not what they want to do. The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved. For the hurt of the daughter of my people am I hurt. I am black. Astonishment. I am black. In verse 21, astonishment had taken hold on me. And there no balm in Gilead, is there no physician there? Why then is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered? I am black. Astonishment had taken hold on me. In chapter 9, verse 1. Oh, that my head were waters and mine eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. They were doing this to the black people. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them, for they be all adulterers and assembly of treacherous men. Adulterers. They committing them sexual sin. They treacherous. They coming through 10. Like I told you, they want a little piece, they getting it. They was getting it back, doing the damn thing. And they been their tongues like their bow for lies. For lies. You see people do that. I used to wonder why they was doing that. They trying to figure out some lies. I mean, bending back for a bow, like a burner, about to get you with a lie. That's what they was doing, hitting you with a lie. They are not valiant for the truth upon the earth, for they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me. They don't know God, saith the Lord. And take ye heed every one of this neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother. Wow, don't even trust your brothers. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slander. And they will deceive everyone his neighbor, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies, and weary themselves to commit iniquity, to commit sins, to do the wrong things, to say lies, to speak of vanity, iniquity. Chapter 9, verse 6. Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit they refuse to know me, saith the Lord. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will melt them and try them, for how shall I do for the daughters of my people? Their tongue is as an arrow shot out, it speaketh deceit, one speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in heart he laid his weight. In his heart he want to kill him. Ooh, cold-blooded. Shall I not visit them for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? For the mountains will I take up, and weeping and wailing, and for the habitation of the wilderness a lamentation, because they are burned up, so that none can pass through. Neither can men hear the voice of the cattle, both the fowl of the heavens and the beasts are fled, they are gone. Like I said, it was burning everything as it turned into bad. Verse 12, who is the wise man that may understand this? And who is he to whom the mouth of the Lord hath spoken, that he may declare it? For what the land perisheth and is burned up like a wilderness, that none passeth through. You already see it's going to be desolate. Ain't nothing going to be there. Nothing but ashes, bones on top of the city. The bones and everything come up. And the Lord said, because they have forsaken my law, which I set there before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart, and after Balaam, which their fathers taught them. Well, that's what their fathers taught them, and they walked after it, and they know it's wrong. God ain't saying nothing about they don't know it's right or right. They doing it because that's what they taught, but they know it's wrong. Therefore, in verse 15, therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts of God, the God, that's capital G-O-D, of Israel, talking about the Israelis, 12 tribes. Behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, worm, W-O-R-M, W-O-O-D, wormwood, and give them water of gall to drink. See, that's what I'm saying. They ain't pick no greens. You don't have no fruits on the trees. Grapes gone. The tree itself in the bark of the wood got worms in it. They got urinating. They urinating against the tree, and man, they drinking that piss. Gallbladder. I will scatter them also among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. And I will send a sword after them till I have consumed them. Now this is what God is going to do. That's what God has done to their fathers. That's what God has done to people before them. They just the residue trying to leech on and keep on and hold on to what they know is wrong. This what God just spoke. I read it. We want to know who gonna be able to stand up and say that. That's it. Said that. Who shall be able to say this? Who shall be able to read this, understand it, and say it? It just said that. And I just told you who he's speaking of and why he's saying it. And that he's going to do it again. And now it's time to cry out for help. This is another topic. Yes, Lord. Thus saith the Lord, chapter 17, chapter 9, verse 17. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider ye and call for the mourning women, that they may come, and send for cunning women, that they may come. And let them make haste and take up a wailing for us, that our eyes may run down with tears, and our eyes lids gush out with water. For a voice of wailing is heard. They're going to be crying out of Zion. In verse 19, how are we spurled? We are greatly confounded, because we have forsaken the land, because our dwellings have cast us out. You know, you're dwelling. How you live somewhere till you can't live in it no more? That's like having an apartment and you don't clean it up, you don't take care of it, till you eventually don't want to be in it. It's too filthy. Verse 20. Yet hear the word of the Lord, O ye women, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing, and every one her neighbor lamentation. For death is come up unto our windows, and is entered into our palaces, to cut off the children from without, and the young men from the streets. Ooh, cut them off. Meaning those who don't have nothing, and they don't have God. Cut them off, because they don't know they're going to do just what the others doing. Disrespectful to God. They won't do what God say. So, and those who are, what? He say, young men from the streets. Children from without, and the young men from the streets. Meaning that's the young men who's the fathers that they taught how to go do what they doing in the streets are going to be cut off. Because they not taught the word of God. So if you're in this window, I ask that you continue coming back to this window. Continue finding the blessed window that can help you with your spiritual warfare, that can guide you, lead you to a better, safer life. Speak thus saith the Lord, even the carcasses of men shall fall as dung upon the open field, and as the handful after the harvestman and more shall gather them, and none shall gather them. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. You got what I'm saying? See, I was speaking about why I don't get up and all that boasting and shouting about my wisdom. It's not about my wisdom. It's written right here in verse 23 of Jeremiah of chapter 9. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom. See, they preaching and they get up there in their wisdom and they get into their wisdom, they go to, they got to get it on. Instead of, if it's going to be a song, let it be a song, but don't let the preaching turns into your song of your wisdom. Don't let your teaching become your wisdom, because that's not God, that's your wisdom. Let your teaching be understood, because the people are the ones that's receiving, not you, not the preachers, not the prophets, not the, y'all hear me? Understand, it's not about the prophets. It's for the people that's lost, that needs the teaching from the prophets, from the priests, from the preachers, from the bishops, from the pope, from the ones that should know. Where their wisdom's supposed to be inside of them, not out there shouting about what. Oh, see, it's right there written in 23. It ain't my. I ain't thought of this. I read it. I understand it, and I'm delivering it to the people who needs the right teaching. Neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. That's why I say you can be rich, but why get into you glorifying yourself because you got, some riches, some monies. Don't do that, because it's not good. Not saying that you'll lose it, but I just read what happens with those who do all those things. Now, God is identifying who he's talking about in verse 23. So it's up to the individual. I mean, it's a young man say, it feels good to have monies, and he say also, it feels great to not to let the money change him. And I applaud him and I love him more for that, because he knows what he knows, who knows not what he knows, but he knows. You understand? Can I say that again for you? Need to understand? I said, it's a young man say that he glad he can make some money and he can have some monies, but he wishing that those who have money don't let the money change them to being the wrong way and doing the wrong things, and not understanding that from which they came from. For he knows what he knows. For those who don't know what he knows the right way to be when you receive. You have to be humble. You have to stay appreciative. You have to be sure that this is being a blessing of more abundance, not to that you got to go hide it in you. You don't hide it. Sometimes something you got to be able to share, because if it's coming, it's gonna come. But share. Don't go broke. Don't be stupid. Don't be a fool. But don't act a fool. That's what the young man said. He don't want to have nothing to change him from being who he is within. That they don't know who he really is. They can see, but they don't know him from within. But in words, you gotta know people when you see and you listen to their words. Their words speak volume. See, confusion speaks ignorance, but a a word of wisdom speaks volume. It grabs a more understanding in the mind. So I'm not going to take you too far with it, but we're going to stop right here and go right back to verse 24. But let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. See what I'm saying? That you understand it and know it, God. That I am the Lord which exercise loving kindness. See, that's what the young boy don't want. The young man, shall I say, that don't want the money to change him from being loving and kind to people. Because you never know who you may need. Remember, the grapes, they're going to leave. The figs, they're going to be gone too. The leaves going to be off the tree. But they're going to have worms in the wood. The gall bladder of drinking will be piss. So always be humble and stay honest unto yourself to live the way God wants you to live. Not the way the street wants you to live. Judgment and righteousness is in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord. Behold, verse 25, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. So, for you knowing, I mean, that's the whole, you being circumcised, meaning you preachers, you priests, you that's teaching the wrong way, you circumcised. You see, God has blessed you with the wisdom, but here you are with the uncircumcised, you celebrating and doing the things the uncircumcised do. That's the part God doesn't approve. Egypt and Judah and Edom. Ooh, Edom. Remember that, huh? The 12 tribes. Edom is not part of the 12 tribes, but he's mentioned as the fair skin for today's name called the white man. And the children of Ammon and Moab and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in wilderness, for all these nations are uncircumcised. You heard that? Uncircumcised. And all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart. See, our ancestors were circumcised, but it can't penetrate inside of us if we're not being taught, we're not being fed. See, like, there's a person told me before in life, say, if you have a fire in your house that you have to put wood in to burn the fireplace so that the house can stay heated. See, the wood start going out, you don't have no more wood, the house gonna get cold. And sooner or later, things in the house will start getting froze. You won't be doing too much in there. You're gonna be trying to stay warm, but it's too cold outside to get more wood. Wood is already all snowed up. It ain't no good for you no more. It's too cold to go do anything. So you had some stocks of wood on the side to keep putting more in for the fire to stay lit. Well, they were saying that to say this here, that reading and learning the Bible to teach or to understand God, to get the wisdom you need. Before you weren't in this window. And you may have had some teachings that you wanted to continue to learn. And that's what brought you back into this window, or either you wanted to know about it and that God led you into this window. So now, from this on and this day forward, in order to keep getting the knowledge and not losing the understanding, you have to read, at least give God an hour or more a day. If not 30 minutes, 15 minutes, some part where it can help build your wisdom and remove your spiritual warfare from within you so you can make that breakthrough. Understand, there are some things that we must learn to do, because there's a lot of uncircumcised people be around us, and you have to know how to deal with them accordingly. You can't belittle them or nothing. No, you can't do what they do, but in between you being who you are and who you are for, don't go astray, because they can't offer you nothing. Remember, you either try to get it easy or you can get it freely. Now, easy, remember, is some rough stuff in the easy way, but to get it freely, it is all in reading, accepting, believing in God, and using the 10 Commandments to help you get by your day-to-day life. And all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart, because if you can't feed the heart, it become uncircumcised all over again. You done became a backslider, hoping you don't get slitted. So now that you've come into this window of blessing, continue forward with this window and reading and understanding that God is with you and He's for you. That's who led you to this window. Until next time, stay prayed up and continue using the 10 Commandments as your leadway with Christ.